Ritika, thanks for such a lovely, brisk, and vroom vroom start. And we are really privileged. I'm really privileged and honored to have with us Sanjay Sharma, the Bernie Ecclestone of Indian motorsports. In fact, Hardy of Indian motorsports is more aptly said. And I want to start one straight with you, Hardy, till Mr. Mittal joins us. Hardy, motorsports recently has been seeing great light of the day. I mean, it has been recognized, I believe, by the ministry, sports ministry, the government of India. Finally, you had Jehan Daruwala coming as becoming the first Indian to win the F2 recently, which is few days back. You had Gaurav Gill, who's got the Arjuna Award. You had Narayan Karthikeyan, who got the Padam Shri. And quite recently, you had this your only young, yet another young prodigy, Yash Aradhya, who got the first motorsports person to get PM Rashtriya Bal Shakti Puraskar. How does it feel, Hadi?
Anyway, thank you for this invitation, Lalit. Yes, of course, motorsport has come of age because unfortunately, a couple of decades back, I may say so, before JK Tyres took it upon themselves to change the fortunes, that this was perceived as a sport for rich, sport for affluent, but sorry, but that with time and all the programs that have been put in place by a particular sponsor, that is JK Tyre in this case, it has now become a common man's sport, and it no more requires you to come from a particular background or with particular size of your pocket to practice this. You will be surprised to know that it costs you the same amount of money to do a session in karting as much as it costs you to see a film in a cinema hall. So, times have changed. Now, coming and mention of the stars that named, starting from Narain Karthikeyan and Karun Chandok for that matter, who made it to Formula One way ahead of time and in year 2000, to Jehan Daruwala very recently, with whose victory the national flag was being, hoisted in an international arena, to Yash, to Gaurav, the three-time Asia Pacific Rally champion. I tell you, he may be a prodigy, but I'm his biggest fan. So that's the kind of talent this country has produced now, time and again. And having recognized these people who have now become the benchmarks and have now become, the flag bearers who the younger generation look upon, and they also create the hope. So, besides all that, let me not forget that year on year, okay, whether it was Reo Banerjee, whether it was Arman Ibrahim, whether it was Aditya Patel, we've been churning out champions who are making their mark internationally, year on year. And let me not forget the two-wheeler segment. You've got CS Santosh for Hero Motors, who's now, in the Dakar. So you have names, accomplished names in that sector. So I think we've come of age, and times have changed, and we can't just say that it's a sport for particular strata of society. Now this is a sport which is loved by one and all, and I'm very glad to tell you that outside of cricket, I think we would be the top three sport, highly watched, whether on TV or otherwise
Sounds
in this country.
This sounds great, Hari. This sounds great. A lot of people who are watching us right now are from the event fraternity, event managers from all across the country, and maybe a lot of event managers from abroad. Hari, I want to know that sports lately has become an experience. You look at all the leagues, they've become an experience. Formula One racing is an experience in itself. How do you see, what role do you see for event managers, and what scope do you think the event managers have to partner with the organizations like you and kind of amplify and take motorsports to the next level?
Lalit, let me give the entire credit of this change to our, friends in the event industry. Okay, because lately, if you see the claim to fame of the JK Tire Racing Championship, which even at the domestic level has attracts almost up to 50,000 people at BIC every year in November. So it's just not racing which takes the credit. It's and if I remember, you were also one of the pioneers who helped us when we were repositioning and repackaging this whole concept, where we brought in music and we brought in an entertainment program for an entire family. So from only the technology side of it, which may attract a particular member of a family, to when you come to a BIC and the kind of experiential, the whole experience that you have, it's mind blowing. And that has changed also, the fortunes of the sport. Our following has grown multifold. And as I just told you, that if we get 50,000 people to watch racing, that also domestic racing, there must be something good that the event managers would have packaged and would have helped the sport. And so coming back to the main question, there is a synergy, because if you have to sell the sport, you need an event manager. If you need to package a sport, you need an event manager. Because at the end of the day, the sports organizers are more worried about the technical side of practicing a sport. So that becomes priority. So there you need the event industry's help in packaging, and then eventually, everything is hand in glove. Because if a good packaged event, then you get good promoters, then you get good money coming in, and that's how the progress happens.
Thanks, Adi, and I'd like to welcome Mr. Mittal. Welcome, Sudhanshu Bhaiya. I'll straight away take the question. Your introduction was made by Gitika, and once again, I'll just repeat: Mr. Mittal, being a strategist and analytical person, a political leader, he's also the vice president of Indian Olympic Association, and he's also the president of Kho Federation of India. Before I start, the first question I want to ask you is: Kho is like very nostalgic. I talk about Kho right now. I'm talking about you, and I'm living in my school days, and I'm sure a lot of people can resonate with Kho big time. I believe you are starting a Kho league, and it got stalled due to the situation. So my question is: please tell us something about this Kho league, and also how do you see this COVID pandemic stopping sports, and how soon we see the revival of sports?
Thank you so much, Lalit, for inviting me here, because if the who's who of the event industry is there, I think it's a great opportunity to address them. Uh, yeah, Kho is truly nostalgic. You say Kho, and there's a broad smile on the face of everybody who's, say, 45 and above or 50 and above, because at some point, all of us have played Kho. Now, this indigenous game, we are attempting to internationalize it. We've been successful in getting it recognized by the Olympic Committee of Asia. And now we've been able to push it, and it's being played in 35 countries. Hopefully, not too far away from now, we shall be seeing it getting recognized by the International Olympic Committee.
Wow.
So as far as the future of this indigenous game is concerned, I'm very, very optimistic. It's a very interesting game, very fast, it requires speed, stamina, reflexes. So it's got all the ingredients which makes it interesting. What we have innovated is we've made it spectator friendly. We've tweaked a few rules here and there to capture the moments which makes it truly entertaining, by having replays, stopping the game in between for the replays and all that, a lot of things. See, since the event managers are here, let me tell you one thing. Pandemic has certainly put a question mark on the spectator participation in the games. So like you saw the IPL, there were stadiums where, but the television industry is a very remarkable industry. It innovated, simulated sound to reduce the impact of the lack of players to the bare minimum. And that is why the television audience was retained, though the live spectators were not there. Now, this is a reality, please understand. And if this is a reality, this is the challenge which the event managers must recognize and plan for. That the pandemic may prevent spectators, but by innovating, the event can be created, can be done, and can have a similar impact. And in today, the live events draw maximum revenue or maximum coverage or maximum utility when they're televised live. So today events are television centric more rather than audience centric in that arena. Now, if this is the ground reality, you have to innovate and you have to increase your roles. See, till now the roles were limited to stadia management. And, sequentially, how do you make it entertaining? Looking at the new reality of the spectator audience, television audience being paramount, you have to get into the graphics which are required, the sensors, the technologies which should now get associated with this game to make it more exciting for the television audience. And here, don't leave it to the federations. The event managers are very well equipped because they understand events very well and how these events can be more interesting by using latest updated technology is something if they get into, believe me, they're going to make a killing. These events are never going to stop. Momentarily, we've seen a setback, but now the events will take place. So the only thing is that the formats will change. Please be prepared for the new formats.
For all the event managers listening, because this is good music, lovely music to our ears. That yes, I
am doing my league. The league will happen. Yes, we were supposed to be on air on the 21st of November onwards, but because of the pandemic and the rules which were associated with it, we did not do it in India. Yeah, we didn't have the luxury of doing it in Dubai because quite essentially an Indian event required to be first introduced in India, then in Dubai. But as I said, now in the coming year of 21, we are certainly going to be on air, and like us, a lot of sporting activities. The Olympics are taking place. The Japan Olympic Association is very clear, come what may, they are going to have the Olympics. So event industry can take a sigh of relief that sporting events are around the corner.
Thank you. That is fantastic news and at least a very interesting piece of positive information for our event industry. I would quickly like to come back to you, Hari. On motorsports in India, we saw the booth circuit start and shut. There were several other issues, but besides that, there was also a lack of attendance and sponsorship, according to certain reports, media reports. You have been an insider, you've been associated, you've been very actively involved with F1 also in India. But even without F1, we have a thriving motorsport ecosystem. F1 happened, it is not happening now, but we have a fantastic, very amazing ecosystem. And as we have shared some names, those guys, I mean, those motorsportsmen who've got laurels for our country and who've been recognized by the government. What can we realistically aspire for, if not hosting F1? Is there any international, beyond national racing, is there any international event like Le Mans or anything like that? Le Mans, you've got your team. Can you talk about that also? And tell us what is it that we can aspire to host?
Okay, it's a simple logic, Lalit, that when F1 came, it's the sport at the highest level, which has its own following, which has its own takes with the auto industry. Okay, when it came to India, so this was on year one, you saw hardcore fans coming in. But for that sport to sustain, unfortunately, the backups and everything in India were not of the same levels. All right. Even if in JK's program, you see the Philip, how they changed gears after 2010. Because when international alignments and international events start coming to your country, then the benchmarks go up. Then you also want to match that. And like very proudly, even till today, we say that whatever we learned till then are even practiced in domestic racing now. Okay. But your particular question is about sponsorship. So for India, unless the sport has a following, unless listen, let me in a very layman's language tell you, it took me 2 years to follow Formula One before I could figure out. I could not even used to make out at 300 kilometers an hour who the guy was. Till 2 years later, somebody told me you recognize them by the helmet. Before that, I only used to clap, seeing the others clapping. So you understand. So we had to go through that process. But unfortunately, by the time it caught the fancy of Indians, the sport with the authorities in the country got into a rough weather. Okay, so that was a disconnect. Unfortunately, I think it will fall in place because with this new minister and the new government, new means the BJP government and Mr. Kiran at the helm, I think things are working at a very different pace, and especially for motorsport. All right. And coming back to your other events, yes, BIC is back. BIC is functional. Anybody can go to BIC and race on a Sunday, all right, because its arrive and drives are also available. So all that is continuing, okay. And whether it is an Asian Limo, which is now starting with Abu Dhabi, or whether it is Superbikes, okay, which is the Asian this thing, all are in line. It's just that we all got into a turbulent times for 3, 4, 5 years, but I think it's all behind us. And the way our sport has come back, we just had a rally of Arunachal where we had, provided for 30 entries, and you will be surprised we ran with 43 because we could not, say no to the rest of the 13 who landed up there.
That's
So
right.
things are bouncing back much quickly. And as Sudhanshu Bhaiya was saying, I only wanted to tell Sudhanshu Bhaiya to use his charms because now with the television industry is also putting their tail up. No, their prices are going up because they know there's no crowd. So for every sponsor to justify, he has to go to either digital or the TVs. So I think at their level, they would also have to sometimes address, because with Sudhanshu Bhaiya's, the spectrum in Indian Olympic Association from Kho upwards, they also would have various challenges. So they can also, kind of have to address this. But
Absolutely.
for
Absolutely.
us in motorsport, it's good times. The participation is there. The industry is there. Everything is back. Now it's just how we take off.
And actually, taking the cue from what Hardy just said, Sudhanshu Bhaiya, I want to ask you that besides the almost 1,000 Khelo India centers promised by the Union Sports Ministry, there are a lot of NGOs who are actively involved now in promoting sports at the grassroots. How does one change the parental mindset, which is skewed towards academic excellence even now, often to the exclusion of everything else, including sport? And what your organization, the Indian Olympic Association, actually is doing towards this?
There are two very critical elements in this. One is, the difference between the podium. The difference between podium and excellence, Lalit, is sports sciences and sports medicine today. In spite of being outstanding, being the winner requires a lot more technology and technological support than what it was earlier. It's very heartening to see that the government of India is really put in its effort in investing into that infrastructure. And this competitiveness will see more Olympic winners, more medal winners, and more inspiration for people to adopt sports as a career. Secondly, the effort of government in reserving 5%, 4% of jobs for sportsmen of a certain standard is something which will again encourage people to adopt sports. पहले सुनते थे खेलोगे कूदोगे बनोगे गंवार पढ़ोगे नहीं पहले सुनते थे खेलोगे कूदोगे बनोगे नवाब पढ़ोगे लिखोगे बनोगे गंवार अब उल्टा है अब तो लोग कहते हैं साहब पढ़ोगे लिखोगे बनोगे नवाब खेलोगे कूदोगे बनोगे गंवार. Now this has to change. The careers in sports will become more attractive once, say, the leagues like Kho take it down to the grassroots. Like Kabaddi has done a fantastic job.
Yep.
Kabaddi has inspired rural India to take that game and look at it as a real career, because these heroes from rural India have become celebrities and they've raked in a lot of money. Now, the moment you see money coming into sports, viewership, where these sportsmen are recognized by common people, that's a very big high. And I think all these things are leading towards the change of mindset, where parents were anti-sports, and they will now encourage sports. Sports is a very great unifier also. I'll just give you an example. Hardy is here. I'm very grateful to you for bringing him and me together. I used to live in H59 Ashok Vihar. He was H60 Ashok Vihar. He went on to selling tires, and I went on to doing politics. And sportsmen or getting associated with sports, we both are here together. So sports is a unifier, which will continue to unify the nation and inspire the nation.
To be given to Event FAQs and Lalit Gattani for bringing these two old sportsmen together. All right. Lovely. So we're coming almost at the end of our session, and I'd like to take one question each with both of you. Hari, I want to ask you, tell us what is the specific role of JK Tyre? You all along your branding, your communication has been around racing. Has it worked for you? I'm sure it has worked. That's why JK Tyre has really grown. And you've had some very interesting tie-ups in motorsport. You had a tie-up with Times Now, then you had a tie-up with MTV. So could you tell us about that, please?
Okay, quickly, you see, unlike any other company, JK Tyre, okay, took it upon themselves because one, any automobile company or an auto ancillary manufacturer to be associated with motorsport is not just a branding exercise because there is no other potent platform available for any one of us to test, demonstrate, and showcase the potency of our product. I'm talking about the entire industry. So it's actually a compulsion. So if you don't see any manufacturer involved in particular thing, that must be that internationally he may not be in one country, maybe in another country, but it's not that we can live without our association. So this, I think, particular mantle with JK Tyre, they took it ahead of everyone else. So that's how they, started putting programs in place. As you are aware that today you don't have to be knowing somebody or have to be doing something to excel. You have to enter karting, you keep winning, you keep progressing, and the results are the Naren Karthikeyans and Karuns and Gaurav Gills of the world. So this is, one side of it. Coming to, back to your event industry, that when this association happened, when sport met the event industry, the packaging started. We started, adding a lot of entertainment and a lot of twist to our practices. And that's where instead of going hardcore on Star Sports and 10 Sports for I don't know, for 15, 16 years, we made a change because we wanted to reach out to different audiences. That's how MTV happened. That's how Times Now happened, and as recently, I think Republic also happened. So there are all kinds. So the whole experiment was that we don't want to restrict ourselves to the same old 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 people, who are just meeting. So this also gave us a platform to reach out to newer audiences. And that's the success story.
Lovely, Hari. Sudhanshu, I have one last question which I would like to ask you. Sports infrastructure is another area where a lot of work needs to be done. And world over, if you see, sports infrastructure is very closely used or is in sync with the event infrastructure requirement. Like the sports infrastructure becomes a major element in events infrastructure. Like you do big concerts, you do big corporate launches or big events. In India, one, there is a lack of infrastructure, and two, even if we have the infrastructure, whatever infrastructure we have, there is always a touch me not, especially for the event industry. It becomes very difficult for us to go and hire a stadium where the entire infrastructure is available to me to execute a flawless big concert. Is Indian Olympic Association are you willing to help the event industry? EMA, our association, can come forward, event FAQs can facilitate, and we can lobby with the government sports ministry to kind of correct this?
In fact, it's again going to be music for your ears. You see, the new minister, Mr. Kiran Rijiju, is an outstanding visionary in all these issues. The giant infrastructure which was created for Asiad or for Commonwealth remained unutilized because even sportsmen did not have access to them. He's privatizing them. He has already announced that while the federations and the sportsmen, when they are going to use this infrastructure, is going to come at a no-cost basis. What he said is a particular number of days would be there for them, but a number of days would be available to the event management companies to do events there, because they have to be self-sustaining infrastructure. And it's critical that a lot of multiple events take place so that there is revenue and there is utilization of that area. So IMA, I would do well in immediately talking to Kiran Rijiju, who already has his thought process on the same lines. You'll be happy to hear this.
Yes, this is fantastic. And I think I want to end this on a very positive note that we will request you to help us connect with,
It shall be a pleasure. It shall be my pleasure in time.
Fantastic rapport with him. Please connect us. with him. I'll ask my EMA officials to connect with Mr. Mittal, and then let's have this meeting, which can be a great takeaway from this congregation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Hadi and Sudhanshu Bhaiya. Thanks for your time and sparing your time and coming and talking to us. Thank you very much, and over to Gitika.